Kia ora everyone, okie dokie. So we've got our home page all sorted out. So time to hit the second page. Now this hasn't been styled at all, so that's what we need to do. So let's jump over. Now we've got to move a few things across. So in this head section, which is all the metadata, things that don't necessarily show up in the content of the website page, but that the browser uses for various things. So your title gets used in the search engine, and we could actually put keywords and a description in there as well, but we'll come to that at another video. But we need all of this data, so I'm just going to grab it and I'm going to toss it onto the adventures page, so you can see that looks quite different. And I'm also going to throw it onto the images page. Now, while I'm here, I am going to alter the title. So this is the thing that shows up on the, on a capital. This is the thing that shows up on the tab, and also browsers use that information in the search engine. So I'll do that for that one. I will alter this one to adventures. Yep, that's all spelled correctly. And I better go home and we'll do that. Oh, just as well I've got that hiding away. We'll do that. Okay, better save, better save, better save. Okay, so that's our first little bit. So let's just open in default. Oh. And when I float my cursor over the tab, you can see this. And actually I have just sorted that out there. Cool. I haven't because I didn't save it, which is, yeah. So what the styling that's come through at the moment is for the body. And obviously we need to do a few things to get it looking a little bit more like this. So we want the base, we want, you know, the header to look the same, we want the navigation to look the same, we want the styling with, you know, the H2 titles to look the same, but we might set up the page a bit differently. We want the footer to look the same, and whatever information we have on the footer on one page, it'll be the same on the other pages. So say, for instance, we were going to put some links to social media, we might put the icons in here and then do a hyperlink to the icon, and we'll have a look at that in another video, but we'll stick to doing this. So what we want to do is just go back to our home page, our index page, and you can see we've got a body tag, and then we created a container that went around it, and then we created our header ID, our nav ID, and actually all of that stuff is going to be exactly the same on each page. And we also want a content ID, but I think I'll just leave that for a tick. I am going to grab this, I'm going to copy it, I'm going to move it onto both of those pages. Now, bear in mind we are going to need to do some indenting to make it look tidy, and we're going to need to put some closing tags. We have a body tag on the other pages, so there's a closing body tag. The div ID container is new, so we'll need a closing tag for that. This div ID header, its closing tag's just there, so that's fine. And the div ID nav header, we've got a closing tag for that. So I just need a closing tag for the container and to do some indentations. So I'm going to paste, then I'm going to pause and I'm going to tidy that up, and then I'll come back. So we'll do this, so it's right down to here, paste. I'll do this on the images page as well. Paste, and I'll be back. I'll do some tidying. I've done one page, but I thought I'll just quickly show you what I've done on the other page. So here's my body, and there's the body there, it's indented. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab all of this up to body, and I'm going to indent it. And just like that, I can do this. So clicking on to check that I am matching up with it. And I've got my container. That's where I need another closing tag for a div. I'm just making sure I get it in the right place. Here we go. And you can see all the yellow squiggles have gone. So by doing that, make sure I've tested, yeah, done that. Let's see what happens when I refresh. Boop, all of a sudden we've got what looks similar to the other page. And obviously we've got a bit of styling to do with this, chicken chasing adventures by picture. Boop. And yeah, so that's cool. On this page, we're going to put three pictures beside each other. But, oh, that's interesting. The footer hasn't pulled through. Let's see what happened with that one. And the footer hasn't pulled through, so I better go and have a look. I'm going to do some debugging. You too could just have a little bit of a play with your page and see what you've done. That's okay. I'm just quickly looking at that and going, oh, I had footer on the index. I had a div ID footer, so that's why I'll grab that. We've got the styling for a div ID footer. We haven't got any styling for here we go, for footer. So if I go now and refresh, there it goes. Awesome. And there it goes. Fab. So let's take the idea of sections and let's pretend that we want to have two that are side by side and taking up half the space. So effectively two columns. And let's have a look at how we could do that. The first thing that we better do is change this main to a div ID called content, like we have done up here. All right, so we'll go onto here and yeah, so we're just changing the whole jolly thing. Div, jump back in there, ID, got my parentheses, and we're going to call it content, and we'll pick up its closing tag, take that away, and where it's got the squiggly line under main, because it recognises that doesn't have a buddy, we'll get rid of that and sort that out. So that's all good. We'll do the same on the images. So get rid of that. So div, jump back into that one ID, and we'll call that content, and we'll grab its closing tag, and we'll replace that main closing tag because we don't want that anymore. All right. And it's really good, those little yellow squiggles, because they appear everywhere, and then once you sort it out, all the yellow squiggles disappear. So it's a really good sort of checking of errors. Oh, by the way, how have your backups been going? Let's just check that out. I'm just going to, here's my backup. So there's my root directory, so my website folder, and here's my backups. And you can see I've got 3 so far. How many have you got? It's really, really important to use those. All right, back we come. Right, testing on one page, one browser. So that's Firefox, which takes a while to load. Getting there. Here it is. Cool. And it just looks bigger. Because I've got more magnification on that one. There we go. It looks sort of similar. Chrome. Maybe a little bit bigger. And back onto the code. All right, so we are going back onto that adventures page. And we're going to use the same idea. So this time I thought we will have 2 sections that are going to be 50% each. To do that, we're going to have a div ID. Now, we're going to need to give it a different name from the other sections, which we've got 1 and 2, meaning 1 is 2/3, 2 is 1/3. Makes good sense, doesn't it? 3 is going to be 1/2. So we'll call it section 3 because So you know, we've started using that system. So it's really important to you know, make sure that you have a sensible numbering system. So I'm just shifting that closing tag. Now, oh, get, oh gosh, sorry. Let's just match, oh, she put a Z in, clever cat. So I've got two IDs in a row, do that, and let's indent this so that things become clear, and also let's do some text wrapping. So that's Alt Z on a Windows computer. Cool. So I'm going to try and see what this looks like. I'm going to have section 3, which has got two H2 headings and two lots of paragraph text. And in section the other half, I would like to put, actually, so I've put its closing tag in the wrong place. I'm just going to grab that. I'm going to see if we can put the image. Nope. Cool. All right, so that's there. See how I've popped a little comment so that I can remember what I'm doing. So it's, you know, it's useful from that respect. It's useful for someone else who comes to look into your code. So we want the same parameters, 50% each, so we can do that. And it's squealing a bit. Let's try and figure that out. Here we go. Section 3, section 3. Let's have a look over here. Oh, it must be unique because it's an ID, so we can't do that. We're going to have section 3 and section 4 both being 50%. Right, let's style. So here's my section 1 aside in section 2, and we did a bit of math over here. I think what I want to do, I'm going to start popping it in here. Now, the reason I'm doing this is the whole cascading thing. So all of this content is part of the, all the styling is part of the content section, and it just kind of makes sense that I do this way. So we're going to go section 3. Oh gosh, now I need to do my maths, don't I? What do we say? 1240, 620. Okay, we'll start with 620 with no space, and then we will sort. Okay, so it's obviously, oops, not H, I went left. Yeah, thank you. And then we will get our, now if we were using, so last video we learnt about the div classes. If we were using div classes, we could have called them the same thing. We say 840, wasn't it? Oh, 620. Oh, I think that math is wrong. Oh well, we'll find out in a moment. Alt, and right. Okay, save. We'll save, and we'll see what happens. Right, so not enough room for my image. So let's just go and do a bit of checking. Oh, not there, but up here. What do we say? Yeah, 1240. That is, yeah, 620. Is that what I put in there? Yeah, 620. And we want a bit of margin as well. So that means if I put 20 in, I need to make these 610, and then we will. Oh, and actually I haven't put the oh, maybe we have now. Then right, I'm going to give it 20 pixels. And what we are going to do is we're going to play with styling that image. So we'll make it fit. Okay, so we won't really have seen much here. So that's obviously a lot, it's far too white. We go to our image, Okay, so we're going to do a bit of this inline style. Got my parentheses, and I could do height. Oh gosh, spell that correctly. Let's put this spelling. And I could try. Actually, I haven't used photo content before. Let's give it a whirl. See what happens. Oh, that didn't work. Okay, we'll go back to my usual. So I want to go height. Now, oh, it's square. So what do we say? 620, 610 pixels. And width 16 pixels. Save. Getting closer. Okay, so just a little bit of playing around. So I've just moved a little bit of the text part of the chicken chase around the world, and I've put a little bit of that second adventure paragraph text into section 4, and then I've got my image, and the important thing is here, I've changed the height to 550 pixels and the width to 550, and this is what I've got. So that looks a lot better. There definitely needs to be a bit of padding around section 3. So let's go to the right. Oops. To the right. Now this might throw out things again, but you know, there's a bit of playing around to make things look good. That looks a bit better. I think I'm going to just add a bit more. Yeah, everything gets pushed a bit. And yeah, it seems to be quite a bit of space on this side. So let's just use the inspect. And I think this video's been going for far too long. So I might need to, I don't want you there, I want you there, make that smaller. Yeah, that's good. You can go bigger again. It's a bit more readable, isn't it? So let's go content. Got my 3, got my 4, to section 4. Oh, that's interesting. There, here. Alright. No, here. Alright. Okay. Alright. I'll leave it at that. We will come back and we will style the images page because this is the longest yet. 18. Stop!